Hello and welcome back to some more Tamriel Rebuilt with Tiberius Imbrex, who looks very, very short and inadequate when standing next to this Altmer woman. But it's fine, we will prove ourselves today, because I had a few comments tell me, I didn't know this, she's actually the guildmaster here who gives you the very difficult quests. The one we were doing before were, the more moderate difficulty ones. I think they were hard, but Mikaria here has the actual high-level Narcissus content for the Fighters Guild that we really want to do. So, as a way of Tiberius trying to keep himself busy, trying to keep his mind busy, he feels like he's going a little bit insane at the moment. Are there any skill books here? We're gonna work for her. Please, see what kind of job she has. Are you here for orders or advancement, Guardian? Advance. You wish to advance further, Guardian. I'm afraid I won't let you take my position. Try talking to other guild masters. I am Mikaria, Master at Arms and Master of the Fighters Guild in the Narcissus District. Before I rose to this position, I used to be a peerless soldier sworn to the Tsaesci Old Guard in Cheydinhall. Tsaesci? The Tsaesci was an Akaviri predecessor of the Fighters Guild, whose legacy remains here at the heart of old Cyrodiilic chapters. They began as hired arms to noble lords after the ban on private armies was enacted. I was trained under their tenets, but chose not to apply the same philosophy here in Narcissus. They overvalue the influence and counsel of their noble patrons, which provides unnecessary friction and competition between other chapters whose patrons and clients may not see eye to eye. Okay. We can ask you about the unrest in Cyrodiil City, I guess, for some reason. Echoes of the Simulacrum still trouble the Heartlands. Uriel Septim is sick and delegates his duties to his viziers. People claim the Emperor's heirs are Daedra placed by Jagar Tharn, and that he may recall the legions to increase his security. If a crisis hits, the Fighters Guild will have to react. The guild branches out west have tied themselves down with dependencies, and so have the native Dunmer. We must be ready to face the challenges as they come on our own 2 feet, or be swept up by the flood. Good point. Tiberius already likes this lady. The Fighters Guild in Narcissus District is a slave to its imperial influences. House Lalu, the guild chapters of Nibene, and the imperialized citizens and the immigrants from the imperial province alike hinder its ability to adapt. Don't let it blind you, Guardian. Everyone considers their path the best for the guild's future, yet few really understand the situation. Perhaps you will understand that with time. Perhaps. Orders. Before I can work with you, I wish to see what you're capable of. I request that you slay Qorinue-Najan. Qorinue-Najan was a legendary Akaviri general of the Second Empire. One of his students, Denarius Vez, founded the Tsaesci, today the Fighters Guild. Valgus Arquidius can tell you more. Record of Najan was lost in the Fourscore War, a failed invasion of Morrowind, but scout reports indicate he may be leading the undead of Casimir, who have become restless. His motives are obscure, but his army poses a threat to the Empire and to the Tsaesci's legacy. Guardian, I want you to slay the Serpent of Casimir. Casimir is an ancient stronghold of the Reman Empire, standing near the Purple Road northeast from Septim's Gate Pass. It was thought abandoned since the Fourscore War, but the locals always knew to avoid it. People familiar with Remanite ruins know its ancient defenders have a habit of not staying dead. Rumors of a Tsaesci of Qorinue-Najan's caliber being among them were dismissed as folk tales, though, until recently. Tell me about Qorinue-Najan. Go to the ruins of Casimir and cut off the serpent's head. Stride into battle with consideration, Guardian, for you are dealing with the guild's past itself. That's pretty freaking sick. Okay. So, Purple Road, northeast of Septim's Gate Pass. Where is Septim's Gate Pass? Oh, it's right there. Okay, so we know where it is. Sweet. That sounds pretty fun. Let's mark this location. If we recall to Stormgate Pass, get a ride back to Narcissus, and then get a ride to Septim Pass? Is that something I can do? Well, we can get to Shapal Shirai. Maybe from Shapal Shirai we can. Septim's Gate Pass. Perfect. We can go from here. We're going to be rolling with the mace today. The Sting of Debilitation, since it seemed pretty good. It's not fully charged, but, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We need to head more eastwards. Yeah, that looks more like a Reman ruin. Kind of cool to see that kind of stuff all the way here in Morrowind. I kind of want to wait around until morning. I'm so sick of it being nighttime. I say that every video because it's always nighttime. There we go. Okay, I think this is it up here. Let's go bash this beetle's brains in. Get out of here. I thought there'd be a bunch of enemies out here. Seemingly not. Okay. Can't go in that door. There's something over here. Oh. There's a fort door down here. Well, there you go. Castlemore Interior. Ooh, I like those banners. There's some cool looking banners. Anything cool in here? More coins. I like how the canyons like start to cave into it. It's kind of cool. What is this? Just a door. Surprisingly, no enemies. Can I bash this down? Oh my gosh. Remind me never to use the lock bashing mod ever again. There we go, jeez. We're running out of lockpick scrolls, which isn't good. Prison ledger. This ledger records all arriving and departing prisoners along with their crime sentence and period of internment. Castlemore key. Reman legionary armor. Okay, so we can go down there to the barracks. No, that's an option. Anything going on down here? Yes. Potentially lots of stuff. More coins. Rip and pepperoni, old Legion members. Okay. So we can go down. It seems like it's a dead end going down this way, so... Maybe not. Maybe it was just from that location. Reman Legion Spear, Legion Helmet. Never actually got a full set of that. Okay, so this also leads to the barracks. I'm gonna go through like the kind of secret trap door, because that seems like maybe it's a better entrance for us. Maybe you get some alternative loot. Maybe you start in a place you can't normally get to. I have no idea. Ooh, right pauldron, bracer. Oh, hello. I was looting. At least we're using a mace. Maces are made for killing skeletons in my mind. Ooh, Legion Greaves too. Nice. Got a pretty, almost nearly full set of Reman gear already. Cool. Dead adventurer. Those dang adventurers, they think they're so invincible. They think they can take on the world. Okay, so that leads... Oh, this is probably the door where you would enter if you went from the stairs. Okay. More helmets. We already have a helmet, so we don't need these. It kind of looks like they're honoring soldiers who died here or something. There's like coins and stuff. Maybe I shouldn't be picking them up. Okay. Don't want to disturb the dead. Castlemore Keep. Now that is a different location, unless that leads outside. Oathbound Captain. Okay, more pauldrons. Nice. Javelin. Huh. It'd be cool to use a bunch of those as your ranged weapons. Oh yeah, look, there's some more of them. I would totally play a javelin character if you could find enough of them. I actually just saw a mod recently that lets you one-hand all the weapons in the game, so you can finally be a spearman with a shield. You can live out that dream that we've all wanted ever since we watched the movie 300. At least I have. But you can never use one-handed spears in Morrowind. It's nice having a good shield of our own. Ooh, your sword is enchanted with blind. Interesting. Okay, so clearly some necromancers at work here. Do we have the full set now? I feel like we do. Oh no, we're still missing boots. It's a good place to go get everything. Oh, there's the boots. Well, there you go. Full set of Reman Legion armor. I kind of want to put it on, even though it's like way worse. Just because I don't know if I've ever seen the full set. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. That looks sick. It'd be really cool if there was some sort of quest where you could like restore the armor to like pristine condition. That'd be sick. All right, well, I don't want to wear it. I want to wear the armor we had before because it's obviously way better. But you know, we got the full set. We can maybe, I was gonna say prop it up in our house, but we actually don't have a house. We're more of a nomad, which has been a very hard play style for me. But Tiberius doesn't really, like I said before, he's not really a treasure hunter, so. But I think he would collect something like that, where it's kind of like an heirloom of the Empire. It's pretty cool. Sanctum. We do have a key, I was gonna say. Should be able to get in. We can go that way, or we can go this way. Which is the right way is the question. Divine intervention could be good. We need to run away. Guess this is like the chapel. Too bad there's not a shrine. All right. I assume you're the person we're looking for. Yep, you got snake features. You gonna talk to us? Yeah, maybe. Halt, a citizen. What news from the Emperor, champion? How fares the war? News from the Emperor? Yes, the third Reman. This warrior has been awaiting his orders for some time. You do not appear to be one of his messengers. You do not appear to be a soldier of the enemy, but you come from outside. You must have news. How fares he? The current Emperor is Uriel Septim VII. This warrior has no knowledge of that name. 7 of them. So much time has passed in the Empire. But the Empire stands at least. This warrior shall learn about the 7th Uriel Septim in good time. But first he must know what change in the world has led to him. How fares the war? We were ready to strike against the enemy. We were waiting for the orders. Through the long wait, the orders never came. Has there been some kind of change in the world? The enemy? The Dark Ones, the Dunmer, led by the 3 Hated Ones, are the enemy. When this warrior received his last orders, we had been at war with them for 958 master moons. In the long wait, it has become many more. Unless there has been some change in the world, this warrior requires information, whether he needs to seek it or will it be given. Okay, yeah, look at all these dialogue options. Holy moly. Should we just go down the list here? Tell me about Akavir. Akavir is the continent east of Tamriel from which we, Tsaesci, I had a comment tell me how to say this, but I'm still not 100% confident. Tsaesci, the T is silent, is what they said. Okay. Tell me about the Akaviri Potenate. The Emperor's Grand Vizier, the Potenate, was indeed Akaviri, the last I heard, but the previous one was a Khajiit. They are regularly rotated. Okay. Tell me about the Dunmer. The enemy comes in many forms. Its most formidable warriors issue forth from the palace of House Redoran. Its skilled law speakers hold court in the palace of House Indoriel. Powerful sorcerers keep to the palaces of House Telvanni. Crafty merchants made gold flow to the palace of House Lalu, now in our possession, while grain issues forth from the palace of House Drez, feeding the rest. And above them all are the hated three, who are immortals as we are and possess dreadful power. Tell me about them, starting with Almalexia. This is the city of Almalexia. Almalexia is the capital city of Morrowind and House Indoril, the palace in which the hated ones hold court. As warfare has been banned in these lands for centuries, most Dunmer cities lack walls, and Almalexia is no exception. I didn't know that. Thus, while the Empire has not yet reached far enough into Morrowind's interior to take Almalexia, it is some small comfort that when the time comes, it will not need any siege engines. The legions will be positioned and moved in, and no quarter will be given. Altmer. The Altmer appear in the oldest records we have of this land, and all of Tamriel's people, save for the hated ones, they are the closest to achieving immortality. Their weakness is their lack of appetite. If they ever developed one, their onslaught would be difficult to withstand. Perhaps the Snake People will send reinforcements to facilitate a more complete conquest of Somerset Isle in the future. For now, our treaty with the Altmer is perfectly acceptable. Okay, Argonians. To the other races of the Empire, the Argonians are a mystery, but this warrior finds them easier to grasp than the other races, and it is not a mere matter of scales. The Argonians perceive the world similarly to us, both on the surface and internally. They have deep insights and are cautious but fearless, and can strike ferociously if they see an opening. Their land follows their will. This warrior's insights would not have made conquest through violence possible. They only informed its futility. Okay, who the heck are you? You address an officer of the Imperial Legion, General Qorinue-Najan, Blade of the Emperor and Knight of the Imperial Dragon. Okay. Tell me about Blackmarsh. I know we're jumping topics, but we got a lot to go through. The Imperial province of Blackmarsh is the only part of the Great Swamp that shares its name. The Empire claimed this land mostly through negotiation with the local Argonian tribes. The Imperial Legion, still recovering from Hammerfell, could not be deployed at their full strength, and it was unlikely they would succeed at any strength. But the Emperor still had his dragons and could credibly threaten to direct them at Argonians' prized spore trees. For our purposes, this was an effective bargaining chip. What do you think about the Blades? We are the Emperor's shock troops and personal guards. When the Emperor sallied out to battle, he kept his blades close at his side. Alas, now that the administration of the Imperial provinces keeps him in his palace, he must send his blades to dance by themselves. This is really cool. That's why I want to ask all of these, because you don't really hear this point of view ever. Also, I know we might kill them, but I want them to like me, so they tell me everything. Bosmer. The Valenwood is proving a challenging province to govern, partly due to the peculiarities of its inhabitants, but the Bosmer are not wholly uncooperative. As soldiers, they are impetuous and disloyal, and this warrior does not enjoy training them. But they're easily impressed. Your interlocutor was sent to the Valenwood to gain the loyalty of a certain tribe or end it. He trained up the local legion to defeat a great beast, a remnant of their sister tribe. The tribe has been quite helpful since. Okay. Change in the world. Much time has passed while this unit has endured the long wait, much more than the war had when the wait began. While in these halls, little has changed since the soldiers shed their mortal coil. Beyond these halls, the world has shifted and trembled. Tell this warrior all that has happened. Give him a full account of the fall of the Second Empire and the rise of the Third. Tell him about the status of Morrowind and the Empire while keeping other details vague. Only tell him about the collapse of the Second Empire. Lie to him about the Second Empire winning the war and surviving. Never been much for politics. I refuse. I'm here to kill you, not to talk to you. Ooh, should we not have picked this yet? Give him a full account of the fall and the rise. Yeah, we shouldn't have picked that dialogue option. I'm going to reload. I still want to talk to him. So I reloaded. Let's talk about Cyrodiil. Which Cyrodiil? The Empire, its heartland, its capital, its people, its emperor? You differentiate them, but to this warrior, his people, and to the elves who first gave it the name, they are all one. We are Cyrodiil, and our mission is to make Cyrodiil complete. The idea is not new, but in the chaos of the interregnum, it had become hollow. This warrior has been doing his part in reshaping it. The chaos? Cyrodiil was broken then. Its ruling council mustered the Nibonese house guards into an army of sorts, but the West kings withdrew to their splinters of Cyrodiil with their militias, all wishing to make the empire whole again, but none of them possessing the ability. The first Reman emerged from their midst. Fighters Guild, a professional organization to regulate the hiring and firing of mercenaries, and it has chapters all over the empire. Exactly how many Imperial citizens have nothing better to do with their time than become hired swords to make a guild like this necessary? This seems like an egregious waste of Imperial funds. Yeah, screw the Fighters Guild. Hammerfell. This warrior finds very little to appreciate about Hammerfell. Under the Imperial reorganization, the Red Guards have enjoyed peace and prosperity, and in the century after its conquest, Hammerfell has become a popular destination for tourists and sightseers. But whenever this warrior is made to visit that land, he can see nothing but the ghosts of the soldiers he saw slain to take it. Okay, let's go down the houses of the enemy. House Drez. The Drez lands are a tempting prize. They feed the nation. Seizing them would paralyze the enemy, but the direct path through them is through the Black Marsh. Few of our warriors are suited to staging a successful assault from that province. The second Reman decided to make an attempt early in the war, despite the advice he was given. It was a costly attempt. Since then, we have not fought in Drez lands. House Lalu. The merchants and craftsmen of House Lalu have maintained trading relations with Cyrodiil for centuries. Nonetheless, they have rejected the Empire and the Emperor's rule, and so they have met the torch. In fact, it is surprising how easily they fell. With how much of Cyrodiil's gold has flowed into their coffers, one would think they could afford better mercenaries. House Andoril. House Andoril is the legislative body of Morrowind. Though they may be the enemy, over the centuries, its many law speakers have acquitted themselves well, allowing these lands to prosper in a way that makes them a worthy addition to the Empire. When Almalexia is conquered, the Imperial Grand Vizier will be keen to devour their books of law and see what may be used at home. House Redoran. The warriors of House Redoran have posed the Imperial Legion its stiffest opposition since it came to Morrowind. Though the hated ones of Almsivi have banned war among their subjects, the mage lords of House Sylvania are only partially their subjects, love to war with each other, and often employ Redoran mercenaries in their wars. Thus, the Redoran are not only well trained, but also quite experienced, much more than this unit can claim. House Telvanni. This warrior has fought the Witch Kings of High Rock and seen dragons fall to them. The wizard lords of House Telvanni have no kingdoms, only their towers, their magic, and their mercenaries, but our information says their sorcery is unparalleled. They do not seem to know mortality. Some of their mercenaries are of House Redoran, others are of the earth, others still not of the world. We have not clashed with them yet. They keep to their towers, but there will be losses when we do so. This is so freaking cool. This reminds me of talking with Kavatra. Imperial. Anything representing or belonging to the Empire is Imperial, including your interlocutor. Lucator? It is a testament to the power of the name that even in the chaos of the interregnum, the good people of Calovia and Nibene continue to wear it. Petty city-state militias would be called Imperial legions. Petty warlords would call themselves King of the Imperials, and their starving slaves would insist they were, despite all evidence to the contrary, Imperial citizens. It brings a small chuckle to recall. They can laugh? That's terrifying. Imperial Legion. What do you wish to know of the Imperial Legion, champion? Relentlessly as the moons shift, they cannot erase its fame. Of that, this warrior is certain. Upon submitting to the first Reman, we snake people make it our mission to forge Cyrodiil's mere muster of battle mages and their war parties into the invincible fighting force you know. It has brought all the West to heel. How can the East hope to withstand it? I think this whole video is going to be me talking to Najan here, so buckle up. High Rock. Old Imperial records name it Brittany, but this warrior is more familiar with the records compiled in his tongue by the scouts who studied these shores ahead of our voyage. In fact, High Rock's population is as dense and varied as its land. The Bretons are varied enough, with witch kings to the northeast, barbarian clans to the northwest, free cities to the southwest, and horse tribes to the southeast. But one must also factor in the elves, scarce as they are, and none must forget the orcs. Bretons. Though a people strangely given to disunity, to this warrior's surprise, the Bretons have not proven an obstacle to the Empire since it consumed them. They did present some challenges in their time, not so much with what they called their armies. The peasants they armed scattered before us if we so much as cleared our throats. Their mercenaries were easily bought, and the golems of the East are good for labor but make poor warriors. But their knights and witch kings are formidable. We lost some dragons to those. That's so freaking cool. I can't wait till we get a release for High Rock. It's going to be one of my favorite. Okay, Imperial provinces. The Empire encompasses Cyrodiil and the 8 Imperial provinces: Skyrim, Valenwood, High Rock, Hammerfell, Somerset, and Aniquia, Palatine, and the Blackmarsh. Soon enough, Morrowind 2 will be consumed. Boy, do I have some news for you. What the heck is Aniquia? This warrior had no part in taking the northern Khajiit kingdoms. Oh, those are the 2 Khajiit kingdoms of elsewhere. Okay. The Legion had little to do there. The feat was achieved largely through the efforts of one young mortal, a loyal Imperial officer who allowed himself to be swallowed into the desert tribes. He gained their trust, helped settle their petty squabbles, and was able to instigate the king of Aniquia's disposition in favor of a more open-minded candidate. It was one of the most impressive displays of skill this warrior has observed in these lands. Kamal, Snow Hell. It's the domain of Akavir's snowmen. Its relations with the Snake People are as cold as its lands. There is no open war, as each is chasing a different prize. But it is understood that one day there will be a great war, and each side has deployed many spies to surveil the other. Few of the Snake People have returned from Kamal. Your interlocutor is one. What he saw is reserved for the Emperor's ear only. What about the Khajiit? When this warrior was first told of the Catmen of Aniquia and Palatine, he misunderstood the word as meaning something like the Potun. He found the Khajiit to be much less hateful, but less impressive as well. They are secretive, but this warrior suspects the secrets they keep are of little worth. They are clever, but lack focus. They take without currency or bureaucracy. Some scholars say their civilization is ancient, so much time and they still have not formed into a single nation. Useless. Potun. On Akavir, the Potun are the Snake People's hated enemies. We have warred with them ever since they stole our prize. I am certain the war rages still, as they are very skilled and are using our prize against us, but I am also certain we will prevail. Okay, have you heard any rumors lately down in this hole? Southeast of the Hlalu city, one hears whispers that a dark elven master of the necromantic arts, shunned by his kind, keeps a lair in a great tower. Perhaps this warrior will send a scout to find the tower and make a treaty with its master. If he still lives. Talking about Kavatra, a little advice. Rash superiors can give rash missions. Do not always think your commander grasps your abilities. If a command is too demanding for a soldier, the soldier should not throw himself into danger. He should take the time to assess the challenges and prepare to overcome them. Secrets. Submitting to the first Reman, one battle mage of Cyrodiil offered his new liege a magical ring as tribute, claiming it gave its wearer 1,000 years of wisdom. The Emperor, not wanting in wisdom, gave the ring to this warrior so he might benefit the training of his legions. A worthy opportunity to use it did not reveal itself until a clever trainee posed this warrior a riddle he had not yet tasted. Perhaps the ring had. He sampled it then, but gained nothing. The men did not mind, but the riddle remains. What's the riddle? The posing of riddles is a convention of the aristocratic society in Tsaesci, the Summer Isles, High Rock, and recently Cyrodiil. Gentlemen collect books of riddles and study them, hoping thereby to increase the chances of their appearing sly and witty in conversation. For his part, this gentleman always seeks new riddles to devour. Pose me a riddle, or okay. Big cap letter okay. Pose me a riddle. 30 white horses on a red hill. First they champ, then they stamp, and then they stand still. How could you not know this? It's from The Hobbit. Teeth. Correct. I hope this has taught you something of Snake People culture, Tiberius and Brex. You guys are Smeagol? That makes sense to me. Halfway there. Tell me about Morrowind. Morrowind is perhaps the most powerful nation of these lands besides the Empire, and before our involvement, it was unrivaled. When we made our voyage to these lands, we gave it a wide berth, but now the Empire is strong, and Morrowind must be consumed to strengthen it further. We have a score to settle with the Dark Ones, the Dunmer and their immortal masters, the Hated Three, but they are proving resistant. Not even sacking Narcissus has broken them. Perhaps that glory will fall to this unit. Who are you? What do you do? This warrior is a master at arms, assigned to deficient units of the Imperial Legion to improve them and lead them to victory. This unit has long struggled with Dark Ones who call themselves Dunmer. However, this is not my first assignment. I have trained men to slay Witch Kings in High Rock and Huntlings in the Valenwood, and in the long wait, I have trained these men to conquer all threats. But time has proven their greatest challenge, and mine. This unit. Under the first and second Remans, Cyrodiil was a young nation constantly at war with its neighbors, and in the crucible of these wars, it forged fierce soldiers. But under the third Reman, this is the only war the Empire has known. These fresh fledglings lack practical experience. Yet that is no issue. It is the responsibility of those with experience to instruct those without, no matter how long it takes. So you guys sacked Narsis. Under the third Reman's leadership, the Imperial legions visited upon Narsis the same fate as awaits all the cities of Morrowind. Complete devastation. It will have taken generations for the natives to rebuild, if they ever did, and no one doubts the Dark Ones of Hlaalu will ever trade with the West again. Of course, this warrior has little sympathy for money changers and merchants, those who live on the inefficiencies of the market, who buy and sell rather than do, so he is indifferent at best. Okay. Tell me about Nords. This warrior came to appreciate the Nords even before they were allies. They are fierce and loyal, but they lack sophistication. They did not know how to form armies when we met them, huddling to little things they call clans instead. Under the Empire, they have become strong. Orcs. The Orcs are an oft neglected race, but if used properly, potentially unstoppable warriors. Under our advice, the first Reman secured their cooperation in conquering High Rock with a promise of land. He did not see fit to make good on that promise, but it produced the desired results. Perhaps one of his sons will seek to realize their potential. This warrior should like to try training them. However, even if they find acceptance in the Empire, their natural lifespans are regretfully short, even for mortals. Tell me about Palatine, the other Khajiit kingdom. I should have asked this before. Palatine, the kingdom of the southern Khajiit, was ever warring with its twin, Anaquina, but when Anaquina allowed itself to be swallowed by the Empire, Palatine soon chose to follow it. By themselves, the states are evenly matched, but neither could match the Empire. Palatine had the choice of continuing to contend with its twin as part of the Empire or perish. The correct choice was evident even to those less clever than the cats of the south. Okay, tell me about you. Names are power champion, and a powerful one indeed has just passed your lips. That's a pretty sick line. Red Guards. The Breton Knights troubled our dragons as no other men did or could, but the Red Guards spelled doomed for countless soldiers of the Legion, scaled and unscaled. Where they lack discipline, they compensate for it with their mastery of the sword. This warrior learned much from fighting them, and more from studying their records once conquest made those available. It took all the forces we could muster, all the stratagems we could devise, all of our training and discipline to take Hammerfell. Some of it fights us still. Tell me about Reman. Reman, light of man, so called in the old Elvish tongue. There have been 3 and more worthy contenders to the name this warrior could not find in your history books. Without the first, Cyrodiil would never have left the Interregnum. Without the second, the Empire would have never consumed the West whole. And without the third, the Empire would have no hope of consuming the East, as it has been and shall continue to do. Second Empire. This warrior cares little for what came before. The present is all that matters. The Second Empire is simply the Empire. Okay, all the provinces. Cyrodiil is ancient and has been mostly ruled by man for 3 millennia. It has only truly flourished in the last century. However, as it was resurrected from the chaos of the Integrum by the first Reman. Now it is ruled by the third Reman, the 5th emperor since this warrior came to these shores. Okay, just a few more. Tell me about Skyrim. When your interlocutor and his fellow warriors came to these shores, neither the Nords of Skyrim nor the land itself gave them a warm welcome. The land is nearly as cold as the lands of Kamal, and this warrior is happy to be out of them. But do not think this warrior was bested. Skyrim was the first prize we presented to the Reman, and when he gazed upon his prize, he found it free of obstacles. Okay, Somerset Isle. This warrior only visited the Somerset Isle once as a military attaché to the Imperial embassy to Aelinor. He was unimpressed. Our diplomat was easily overcome by the Altmer nobility's riddles and forced to graciously submit, but this warrior had heard and mastered them centuries prior. He knew that the Somerset was no great nation despite the potential of the Altmer. They refuse to adapt. They never learn. They never seek to become greater than themselves. Their only hope is to learn from the Empire. Okay, tell me about Sifim, the organization that predates the Fighters Guild. That is the Snake People's word for a warrior. Oh, okay. Tang Mo. The Tang Mo are similar to the men of these lands as we found them, but smaller and with thicker hair. Though their lack of unity is similar, however, the Tang Mo have always known how to form together when threatened, and have needed to use that knowledge often. We tried to swallow them in the past, but found little success with the direct approach. The Kamal are trying now. Perhaps they will manage. Perhaps they will just soften the Tang Mo. Perhaps it is the Kamal who will be softened. All results are good. I am losing my voice reading this much. Okay, the enemy. The Dark Ones, the Dunmer, led by the 3 Hated Ones, are the enemy. When this warrior received his last orders, we had been at war with them. Oh, I think we read that before, actually. Before I reloaded. The Long Wait. This warrior's orders were to train this unit until further orders arrived. By his count, this was 15,888 master moons ago. No new order has arrived. By now, the soldiers know all they can know. They have reached their limit imposed by their own death. This warrior can no longer train them. Thus, we attack. Okay, tell me about your people. The Tsaesci, the Snake Palace, is Akvir's largest and greatest kingdom. Its subjects, including your interlocutor, are also known as Snake People. Much like Cyrodiil in these lands, the Snake People seek to swallow the lands and people around it. Though it already possesses the best ideas, with each conquest it finds a new way to improve itself further. It will never stop or rest. As above, so below. This warrior is very much of his people. Valenwood. Valenwood is a mostly untapped wilderness inhabited by its stewards, the Bosmer. After we presented the first Reman with Skyrim, and he became Cyrodiil, he wished to please his Colovian subjects by destroying the Valenwood trees. It would have made an effective statement, but we advised it would only gain him a land of ash and corpses at great cost. Instead, he bore his fangs more deliberately in limited engagements. Then he took the Valenwood by overcoming its high wizard through skill of word. Okay, one more dialogue option. The Word of Akavir, which we only have that dialogue option because we got it from Fort Firemoth. So that's kind of cool. Show this ward of yours. Yes, it is not of our creation. We do not use shields, but this is the skin of a dragon. Interesting that you would have such a thing. This warrior shall be taking it from you. I mean, if we're gonna kill him anyways... No, I'm not gonna give you that. I'm keeping it. Then this warrior will take it by force. Holy crap, he's fast. Look at that. Okay, all right. Let's use our Warrior's Blessing Scroll so it'll keep our fatigue up. I really should have got our axe or our sword that we're much more proficient in before we came here. It's fine. Also, I like how we don't have the Ward of Akavir on. We had our Reman shield still on. Cool, you could ask him about it. Man, we keep getting knocked down. Yeah, he is destroying our agility, that is why. Is it something we can walk off, or is it just drained now? Yeah, it's just drained. So let's try to heal that back up with a restore agility spell, so we don't get knocked down so often. Did that bring it up? Yes. Ooh, we got a paralysis on him. It's a pretty hard fight. What else we got here when it comes to scrolls? Not a lot. Yeah, not a lot at all, actually. All right. His knockdown's so strong. Okay, all right. Let's keep the health potions going. Kind of running out of them, though. Be nice if this had charges on it. You know, we wasted it all on the enemies walking to this guy. Okay, we gotta use another potion. I think that's one of our last ones. To use our Scroll of Warrior's Blessing again. It's we have 2. He's almost dead. He's, you know, a little bit more than half. Dang it. Stupid knockdown. It's screwing us so bad. Alright. We'll try to survive this. Alright. And then let us heal ourselves. This is good. Surely he will run out of charges eventually with his weapon. Also get some restore agility back. And some more magic potions. Welcome to Morrowind, where you spend most of your time in the inventory drinking potions and recovering stats. We got this. Come on. Come on. I'm just so glad right now that he's not constantly restoring health and summoning entire armies to fight with him. Like, this is actually a good fight. Not like the stupid lich in Fort Firemoth. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. He just hit us so hard. And we failed the spell. Come on. There we go. Get some fatigue potions going. He's so low. Come on. Yes. Yes. Get wrecked. Qorinue-Najan's Dai Katana. Yoink. He's got a nearly full set of Imperial Dragon Scale and a skirt. We have been looking for an Imperial skirt like this whole playthrough. I don't think we ever got one. Actually looks pretty good with what we have. Nice. Is there anything to grab around here? I don't really want to loot that. It kind of feels like we're disrespecting the dead of the old legion, so. It's crazy that this was just one quest, and it's just to prove ourselves. This isn't even like an actual Fighters Guild quest. It's just, yeah, I'm not going to work with you until you kill this super legendary general who's been here for 1,000 years. I don't know the actual date, like second era kind of stuff. Ah, and we did it. Awesome. Tiberius is truly a baller. Potentially, I mean, other than Valdrin, who is just level like 80 or something, one of our strongest characters we've ever had on the channel, so. Has your crusade against Qorinue-Najan been successful? The Serpent of Casimir is destroyed. Outstanding work, Tiberius Imbrex. Your deed will ensure the safety along the Purple Road and greatly improve the guild's reputation in Narcissus. I will share with you my thoughts on the Fighters Guild in Narcissus and my attitudes towards the way of the Siphon. If you're interested, Vulgus Arquidius downstairs can share even more. When you're prepared, I'll be ready to work with you further. We already asked her this, so it's weird. I don't think we're getting any new information either. No. Okay. You have slain the serpent. The Sephim's legacy in Morrowind shall no longer trouble us. But I am going to end the video there for today. We only did one thing, but I also just read dialogue for like 30 minutes, so I'm kind of losing my voice. Super cool though, and I wanted to hear what he had to say. I don't know if you can actually talk him down or you can spare him. Doesn't really seem like it. He doesn't seem the type to put up with that, especially when we didn't give him our dragon shield, because this is my dragon shield. I don't share stuff. Anyways, if you've enjoyed this content and made it this far, consider liking, subscribing, or hyping up the video if you have not already, as it does help the channel immensely. Other than that though, thank you for watching and peace out.